What's going on, everybody? I'm John at Pan Sports, and today we're going to talk about 6 guards that the Giants could sign in this year's free agency. I think the Giants will move on from Will Hernandez. There's a good crop of guards this year in free agency, tons of middle of the road kind of guys that are going to be affordable. I avoided the high-end guards in this video. I don't see the Giants throwing $10-15 million at the guard position. All these guys I'm about to talk about today can be had in that $3 to $8 million range. But on the end, I tossed in 2 super cheap options. Let's just get into it. The first guard I could see the Giants targeting is Austin Corbett. He had a PFF grade of 68.8, which is solid. I'm not huge on PFF, but I do trust their O-line grades more than really any other position. But Corbett allowed 3 sacks. He had 2 penalties on 1,081 snaps. That's pretty damn impressive. I can't remember where I heard this, but I heard he has 1 holding penalty for his entire career. And if that's true, that's crazy. I just think that's a testament to the type of player that he is. Last year, Corbett played center and played very, very well. This year, he switched to right guard and just didn't miss a beat. I think he played a little bit better as a center, but still pretty damn good all around. So he's a guy that you can move all around the interior O-line. You're getting a borderline, Pro Bowl performance from him year in and year out, in my opinion. I think he's going to fetch $7-8 million a year, and he's worth every penny. If I'm a Giants, I might slide him back to center and call it a day. He'd probably be the best center the Giants have had here since Sean O'Hara. So he's great on screens. He can run all that zone stuff better than anyone the Giants currently have. He's also been an Iron Man on the right side. Corbett is my favorite guard out of all these guys I'm going to talk about in this video. The next guard I chose was James Daniels. He played with the Bears last season. He had a PFF grade of 71, and that's pretty darn good. He had 9 penalties, allowed 3 sacks. That's right around league average for interior O-linemen, maybe a tick high penalty-wise. And just like Corbett, the Bears have been moving Daniels all around the offensive line. They finally just left him at right guard, and he blossomed this past season into a really, really good guard. And this is a super young player. He's got tons of time to improve. He's only 24 years old. I think he's about to break out at right guard into a top 10 to 15, area. Right now, he's a middle-of-the-road guy, but I'd pay him a little bit extra just for that potential. I think James Daniels will get between $6 to $8 million, on the market. I'd give him that no problem. And Daniels is another guy that could come in here and run that wide zone for Barkley, and he's just a hell of a pass blocker for a guard. If the Giants plan to run gap stuff here next season, then I'd pass on him. Overall, very impressive. That would be a good get for the Giants. The next guard I'm going to talk about is Andrew Norwell. Big old, reliable Norwell. He's a little bit older at this point, but he's still a decent player. He's not bad. Now, Norwell had 9 penalties and allowed 3 sacks. But listen, Andrew Norwell is just a rock-solid player. You can trust him in the pass game. You know what you're going to get from him. And the last time Norwell had hit free agency, he got insane money. This time, I think you can grab him on a reasonable contract. He's no longer a high-end starter. But I think he has got a few more good years left in him. If he starts all season at one of them guard spots, I'm cool with it. But I'd love him to just come in here to be a depth guy. Hopefully the Giants draft a guard early in the draft. And if the Giants sign Norwell, you let him and Lemieux battle it out for the other side. That would be the ideal situation for me. I view him like Kevin Zeitler when he was here. He's going to be decent in the run game, but the pass protection is what he's really best at. I think you can sign Norwell in that $5 to $7 million range, so that would be a really decent move for the Giants. And with them older guys, you can also get them on 1-year deals, so that's even better for this team. Keep bringing in guys on 1-year deals and then slowly drafting, that position. The next guy I chose is Germain Ifedi, another guy who played for the Bears last season. Ifedi had a PFF grade of 61.8. He had 4 penalties, allowed 2 sacks. He did struggle with some injuries last year and was he was already playing on a 1-year prove-it deal, so he didn't exactly prove it. But it's easy to see the talent is there with Ifedi. What I like the most about him is he just can play guard or tackle, and he's an excellent pass protector. That's something the Giants have been needing for a decade now. His run blocking leaves me a little bit, wanting more, but you can't deny the value of a player like Ifedi. He could be a great swing tackle if the new coaching staff don't like Mac Parrott. And obviously, he can fill in anywhere on the line. Maybe not center, but both guard spots, both tackle spots. In the past, he's been a high penalized player. I think like since 2016, he's the most penalized offensive lineman in the league. So that's always something to watch out for. But I think he'll come cheap. For the price, I can live with it. I think you can snag him at $3 million to $5 million high end. Chicago will probably want him back for a swing tackle, so you might have to pay him closer to that $5 million if you want to steal him away. But if the Bears go tackle with their second round pick, we might get him on the cheap side. Now, these next two guys I think would be the cheaper route. The first I chose was Trey Turner from Pittsburgh. He's a very high-low type of player. I see awesome plays on tape where he's wrecking people, and then there's snaps and things that make me say, hell no. Character concerns as well. He was ejected from a game last year for spitting on an opposing team's player. He did look better this season than his previous. He's never just been able to get back to that player he was his first 2 seasons in the NFL. He had a PFF grade of 69.4, so it's really solid. Now, he had 6 penalties, allowed 7 sacks, and even though he allowed a bunch of sacks last year, I still think his strongest part of his game is his pass protection. His run blocking isn't up to snuff, and there are some durability questions with Turner. He's not my first choice, but if Joe Schoen says, hey, listen, this is all we can afford, I can live with it. Hopefully if Turner is signed, he's brought in to be a depth player. That would be what I want. I think you can sign Trey Turner for that $2 to $4 million range, depending on if other people are bidding on him. And if it don't work out, I don't think you really have to give him any kind of guaranteed money at all. So the last card I think the Giants could target is Quinton Spain. He was one of the better O-linemen on the Bengals. He's had really good seasons as a pass blocker, run blocker. It just seems like every other year, one is much better than the other. Maybe one of these seasons he'll just put it all together. Spain had a PFF grade of 72.3, which is pretty darn good. He had 4 penalties, allowed 5 sacks. All that's right around average. I've seen some people say he'll get a big payday. I just disagree. Until he puts it all together, I think he'll remain getting 1-year deals and getting that $3 to $5 million a season kind of contract. But I love his talent. He's durable. Worst case scenario with Quinton Spain is he's a decent starting guard. But that's my list. I think the Giants are definitely signing a decent guard this free agency, and these are the most likely that I can see. A couple honorable mentions for Alex Kappa, possibly Connor Williams. Them guys are probably out of the Giants' price range with the cap situation now. But let me know what you guys think of my candidates. Am I missing another guard that you think could be signed? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you like the guys I chose, who would you want out of all of them? I'm going to do one of these with a few tackles as well. I know we got Matt Parrott, but I could see him getting bumped in the guard next year if he doesn't start to improve. Thank you all for the support, though. Please leave a like. That's appreciated. If you're new, subscribe. I got tons of Giants videos to go. I also do profiles of draft prospects, so go check them out. Maybe you'll enjoy them. Tons of highlights, as always, on the channel. But anyways, just thank you all. Stay safe. Stay warm. Thank God it warmed up a little bit, but peace, y'all.